Ew. Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden. And before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a gardening friend. Okay, so you know what would have been really great is if my phone had actually recorded the last hour of me potting up like 150 Snapdragon seedlings. But it didn't. So here we are today. We are going to be doing some seedling maintenance. I like to show y'all what's going on with my seedlings. I like to show the successes, failures, how to keep these seedlings thriving, as I'm basically, everything's holding on for fall at this point. I have a ton of beautiful fall annuals that are looking really great. It's time to pot those up into some larger containers, and they truthfully are going to be heading outside in probably the next 4 weeks. Totally and epically exciting. Lots of perennials that I've grown from seed that are going to be planted out this fall. They probably are not going to be planted out until sometime in October. I've also got quite a few cool flowers or hardy annuals that are going to be planted out typically in sometime in October. Allow them a good 4 to 6 weeks before our first frost to put out a bunch of roots and be ready for the winter. So I had went ahead and started with the snapdragons. So let me give you a close-up of that. Okay. So got a bunch of snapdragons going over here, and they were originally in all of these little containers. And then, so I potted them up into larger containers. Now, most of these snapdragons are not actually staying at my house. A lot of them are going to my friend Kristen's garden, but we'll probably keep maybe 20 here, and everything else will go to her garden. So one of the next things I need to do today is I really need to focus on these shade perennials. So let me go ahead and get y'all set back up and we'll talk about them. Okay, so potting up is pretty key to keeping your seedlings happy and healthy if you're growing them inside. Because at some point they run out of room in those little bitty seed cells. And I've been working really hard to grow a lot of perennials from seed to specifically fill out my garden in certain areas, especially my shade garden. So these little seedlings right here are newest hybrid coral bells, and I started them on June 12th. Perennial seeds take quite a while to get going, and I do have 2 trays of those, which is exciting. And then the other variety that I have right here is called Grande Estilbe, and these were also started on 6/12. I didn't have as great a germination, about 50% germination on these, but still very, very happy with them. All right, and with these being perennials, I want to go ahead and pot them up into a little bit bigger container than I typically would. I would typically do one of these 3-inch containers, but because these are perennials, we're going to go a little bit larger of a container, just because they are going to be living in that for at least 2 more months. So it's really important that I give them lots of room to spread out their roots and get bigger. Okay, so I'm going to be working with my favorite potting soil, Berger BM7. And I'm not adding anything to the current potting soil. I like to fertilize with an Alaskan fish emulsion, and that is applied through water. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I've got my container filled up, and I'm just going to pull a little seedling, and look how sweet these little seedlings are. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with them. And then all we're going to do is just tuck it into place. That's it. Very simply done. Now, these coral bells or heucheras are a mix of colors. So who knows what they're going to end up looking like in the future. You can go ahead and start seeing some of the different colors, which is exciting. Like, look how dark that one is compared to this one. Very exciting, and I can't believe I had such amazing germination with these. And I'm very gently pulling them out of the container. So it looks like out of this container, out of 12 seeds, I had 9. That did great. All right, so we're just going to go in with our, and we're not compacting the soil. And make a little hole, pot it up, just like that, very simply. Now, couple of different things. You could plant these directly out into your garden instead of potting up. However, it's just way too hot for that right now in my Texas Zone 8 garden. And I would like for these plants to be a little bit stronger prior to planting them out, although they do feel like very healthy little seedlings. Secondly, by potting these up, I'm separating them out, and it gives them a lot more airflow to spread out and more airflow between the leaves and between the plants, which is going to make for a healthier plant in the end. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Heuchera and coral bells don't do very well for me. They don't do great in the ground. They do well in containers, and my whole shade garden is containers. And so I kind of love that I'm going to have this opportunity where I spent very little money, and now I'm going to have these beautiful plants, because these tend to be a little bit pricey, a little bit pricier than most perennials. Most perennials in my area are about the $12.99 mark, but I do see a lot of times the heucheras or coral bells are at $16.99, $19.99, at about the same size perennials, other things. We'll start that second tray. These hybrids feature bold foliage in shades of burgundy, lime, and silver, paired with airy flower spikes. Hardy in zones 4 through 9, they thrive in part shade with well-draining soil, low maintenance, and deer resistant. So like this seedling was tucked in amongst all the other ones, so it's really stretching for light. So I think that giving it more space is going to be very helpful. Who knows, maybe a few of these will get large enough for some fall planting on my front porch. That would be really lovely. All right, and then we've got the Grande Astilbe. Now, I feel like these seedlings are still a little delicate. They've grown a lot. However, they're still a little bit on the smaller side. So I'm going to pull some of the larger ones, and then I'm going to use a little spade to help me with the smaller, more delicate ones. But I do want to go ahead and get these moved up, even though some of these are really tiny. And with my extra soil, I just toss it right back in to my potting up pile. Grande Astilbe produces tall plumes of pink, red, or white flowers above fern-like foliage. It prefers moist, shady spots in zones 4 through 8. Excellent for borders and woodland gardens. Okay, next on my list is Green Drops grass, and I've been growing that for Kristen to use in her fall garden. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use let me grab one. I'm going to use a gallon container and put 3 per gallon. I've done that. I do that a lot with my grasses. I feel like it just works better and it gives them a little bit more space. So I just come in like that. And I did this with my purple fountain grass because these do grow very quickly. And then I'll put 3 per gallon container, and then she'll have a nice big full plant when she's ready to plant. And then if she wants to pull these apart, she can do that. I'm also going to use some little bamboo skewers because the grasses can get kind of weak. And basically you just unknot the bamboo skewer, slide the stem in, and then it helps support the grass. And this just works great. Green Drops ornamental grass is a clumping grass with dangling green seed heads that sway gracefully in the breeze. It grows 12 to 18 inches tall in zones 4 through 9, adds movement and texture to sunny borders. Okay, and then I've got a couple of calendula, orange flash calendula, and I'm going to put those in these little quart-sized containers. I've only got 3 of those. It didn't have great germination. Can't remember if it was older or not. These were started on January 7th. Those green drops were also started July 7th. The green drop grass was also started on the same date. January. Orange Flash Calendula is a compact plant with vivid orange daisy-like blooms. Quick-growing, cool-season annuals ideal for beds and containers. They attract pollinators and resist pests. Definitely think we're going to have to do some rearranging with the plants once I finish potting up several of these. Okay, next one for potting up is Brunette Cosmedium, and that is a fall annual, or an annual that I'm growing for fall plants. And let me move some stuff around and replenish my soil. Okay, so I had already potted up the Brunette Cosmedium into containers, but I started seeing a little bit of powdery mildew, and I'm actually going to cut off the areas that look affected. I feel like it's mainly just one plant. Maybe a few others. Oh no, it's definitely got some powdery mildew in some places. Okay. Anyway, I feel like it needs more space. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be switching to these gallon containers for the Cosmedium. And I think I'm going to move, oh yeah, look how filled in that was. Gosh, I was going to do 2 per container, but I think I'm going to have to do just 1. It's going to use a lot of soil, but it is what it is. And if that's going to help these survive, I'll do it. You can see, look how tight the roots already are. And then this will also space them out to give them better airflow, which I think that is probably why we're suffering from the powdery mildew. And I keep filling this all the way up. I don't want to fill it all the way up. Okay, and I think I'm going to hit this with a little bit of neem oil too. And I do think that the plants that have a whole lot going on it, I'm going to throw them away. Because I really don't want to risk it spreading everywhere, because I'm really excited about growing these plants for my fall containers and fall garden. Brunette Cosmedium has striking blooms in burgundy with golden edges, thrives in full sun, blooms summer to fall, and grows easily from seed, loved by butterflies and bees. So let's talk about some different types of seedling care. These are Coreopsis. They're doing great. They are quickly outgrowing their containers. I actually feel like I'm probably going to pot those all up into larger containers in a minute. In the meantime, I have these gorgeous strawberry blonde marigolds that I grew from seed that are stupid gorgeous. However, I need to cut all their blooms off. And I know you guys are going to be like, what? Yep, I need them to not start blooming yet. Now this is the last time that I'm going to cut them back, this time right here. Now they'll probably go outside in about 3 to 4 weeks. And they're already buds. I'm leaving the buds, but I'm going to go ahead and cut the blooms so that it can just continue to focus on making another round of beautiful blooms. And then they should be absolutely gorgeous when it's time to plant them outside. And they are looking lovely. Now I am going to combine them with some mother marigolds. I've got some other marigolds over here, which I believe these are also strawberry blonde, but I'm not sure. I start moving a bunch of stuff around and it's really kind of hard to see what's what, or remember, what's what after I start moving things around because I don't label every single individual container. Okay. All right, so got that done. So with this Sunburst Coreopsis, we are going to go ahead and pot up into, once again, these gallon containers. Now, a lot of my space will be alleviated in about 2 weeks because I will start shifting, especially the fall annuals, outside, even though it's still hot. But they have to start acclimating to what's going on outside prior to me planting. I wasn't expecting to pot up this Sunburst Coreopsis today, but it's just gorgeous. Beautiful. I want to keep it nice and happy. Love to have a big drift of this in my garden. And for those of you who don't know, I like to grow my seedlings on far enough that they look like I picked them up at the nursery. I like them to look like nursery plants. All right, and just for reference, this Sunburst Coreopsis was started on June 16th. Sunburst Coreopsis has bright golden yellow blooms with a red eye on upright stems. They bloom heavily in summers and are hardy in zones 4 through 9, perfect for sunny beds and pollinator gardens. Okay, I do have another tray of strawberry blonde marigolds that need to be clipped. Let me bring y'all in close so you can just enjoy these for a minute. They're beautiful, y'all. Some are more darker, some are lighter, some are more yellow. Really pretty. These are started on 6/21. Cannot wait to use them. And I'm just going to go through and cut out all of these blooms. Now I'm leaving the buds. I'm just cutting out the blooms. And I feel like all of these need one more really good round of fertilizing. And then we'll be ready to head outside and start acclimating to the heat and getting ready for fall planting. Just like that. Okay, let's talk about this coleus. It's candy something. Let's see if I can find that. This one is called Coral Candy Coleus. Started on 6/21, and it is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. That being said, I think it needs some space. So hold up. Got some other coleus over here. Some random Rebecca. So I think I'm just going to come in and move some of this coleus over. This is called Choco Covered Cherry Coleus. And then for this Coral Candy, I'm just going to spread it out. I cannot wait to get this. This is going to be a feature I'm using. Every single one of these plants is a feature in the very front garden because this color is great, and I think it's going to tie in really great with that coral orange tattoo vinca that I'm currently growing. But I just want to give it a little bit more space. Got some good work done today. We can do a little bit of cleanup and then let's talk. Okay, in regards to all of these marigolds, I think I'm just going to lay a bunch of them out and see if they'll dry pretty. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And if they do, I'd like to use them in some fall decor. I'll just spread them out on the table for now. Okay, another big key of my seedling maintenance, which I have been really falling behind on, and I ended up placing an order because I didn't realize I was out, but is putting out these sticky traps specifically for fungus gnats. And while the fungus gnats aren't out of control at this moment, they are annoying. And so I ordered these online on Amazon. Just take that and then you stick it in one of your plants. And I like to have one, at least one in each tray. And a bunch of mine had gotten older and filled up with fungus gnats, so these needed to be replaced. So this is very important for my seedling maintenance. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I am smiling because we're almost there. Starting all that work in June. Planning ahead from my fall seedlings is about to seriously pay off, and I am psyched. I'm very excited about it. I think one more really good dose of fertilizing, and I think I'll do that later today. Typically for fertilizing, I do Alaskan fish emulsion, and I just put it typically at half strength or less in my green watering can, fill up with water, and then water all the plants. And my house smells terrible for 2 days, but works great. And I do think they need one more round. So feeling really good about this. I hope you guys have enjoyed following along on these seedlings. I also hope those of you who started seedlings, you've really enjoyed the process. And I think we're at the point now where probably the next video you see on the seedlings will be me starting to plant seedlings out into the actual garden, which is crazy, which is crazy bonkers exciting. All right, you all, as always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video and my channel so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and you say hi. And check out my Patreon community. The link is in the video description. It is all things She's Mad Gardener, all things gardening. Just a good group of people. Oh, my daughter's home from school. But just a good group of people who love to garden and share what's going on in their lives. I really, really enjoy it. There's a free tier that you can join in under where you'll see a couple of posts a week. Then there are higher up tiers. The higher up you are in the tier, the more access you get, including exclusive videos only available for patrons, as well as group chats and photo sharing. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.